Listen, you quite seriously on Twitter, you said, I'm fairly certain it only requires majority votes in both chambers to ban co-conspirators, including Trump, from ever holding elected office again. Is that what you referred to when you said it's about time to apply Section 3 of the 14th Amendment against these rat bastards? What?
Yes,
explain
yes.
yourself. Explain yourself, sir.
Well, first of all, I did a pretty good job of hedging on that first tweet, didn't I?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, and that's directed exactly at the replies, at the mentions. Don't kill me if I get this wrong, because I was working off of just blank memory.
Well,
and
first of all, in reading Adam Schiff's book right now, which I am, Bob, that was what impeachment was for. They had an opportunity to make sure Trump could never run for office again. They failed in that one, of course. And so,
well,
but you're right. Now what?
That one. Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, they can try again. I mean, there's always another opportunity, and they can do that through a majority vote in both chambers. And right now, the Democrats with Kamala Harris have majorities in both chambers. And so it's just a matter of getting those two hotheads on the Senate side to agree to something like that, I'm sure. But, I bet there are some moderates on the House side who probably wouldn't go along with that. It's just too... Yeah, I don't understand.
Yes, I'm sure Kyrsten Sinema dressed like a petulant teenager in a jean vest and a T-shirt, flipping her hair and reading her phone. What the actual is up with her? You're in the you're presiding over the United States Senate. She's wearing like a jean vest and a... Oh, God,
I loved her as the superintendent in One Day at a Time, the Fix-It guy.
Everything she does just screams, look at me. Look at me. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. That's her whole job, Stephanie. That's all Kyrsten Sinema does is look at me, look at me, look at me. And the amazing thing with her is she does it without saying a word.
Yes.
She doesn't need to do the Marjorie Taylor Greene, three-toed two-step in order to get people to pay attention to her.
Where's my evil clown cart? When she came out, what was that thing? And the evil carnival skirt, the red and white
circus. That was when she escaped from Ronald McDonald Land.
Yeah,
right.
She escaped from
the circus tent skirt.
Yeah.
Just woo! Look at me. I don't mean to draw attention away from the agreement here, but look at this. It's too late, Chris. All right, go ahead, Bob.
It's not called evil
I
clown
was just
car.
gonna say,
okay, go ahead.
I inadvertently said escape, just like Madison Cawthorn says.
Oh God.
I don't know why. You absorb this stuff 24/7. You got your face, and by you I mean me, face pressed against this computer screen all day, all night, looking at Twitter and all these things. You start to pick up some of the mannerisms of the people that you criticize. I can't believe I just said escape.
That's okay.
I'm
ignored
never
it.
going to hear the end of that one. Yeah.
Bob, we had Chairman Schiff on yesterday, and it's hard. I mean, obviously, he's making the case for they've got to enforce contempt against Steve Bannon, which they just referred to the DOJ. It's Merrick Garland's today, right? Is testifying today
before the Senate.
I get it that, of course, he can't talk about it.
Right.
If they're all, but they better be under investigation for trying to overthrow the United States government. Don't you hope? I mean, I don't know what to say about whether we should just assume that there is prosecution going on. Whether someone's going to press him to appoint a special counsel. Where do you stand on all of it?
Well, obviously, if they've got enough evidence to successfully prosecute Steve Bannon, I mean, if they can make the case, and obviously the case depends on intent. I'm sure Glenn Kirshner would have more to say on all of this. If they can do that, then my God, throw the book at Steve Bannon. There's no reason why. But the problem is that we want this to happen for a couple of reasons. One, for justice to be served, but two, to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And I think that's one of the main thrusts behind those of us who are very, very urgent about prosecuting these guys. Because if they're able to do this, if they were able to do this thing, this insurrection, planning it, executing it, and then covering it up after the fact, oh, who, me? I didn't do anything. That whole song and dance routine. Then if that isn't punished, then it's just an open door to happen again and again and again. And we can't allow that. I mean, the United States so much is built on the notion of tradition and precedent. And I think this would send a horrible precedent if nothing was actually done to, not only the subpoena shirkers, but for the broader issue of,
they don't go to the
punishment
top
for the
to these members of Congress and up to Trump. I mean, I look at Eastman getting caught on tape. Do we have some of that? Give me 16. I mean, to walk back from his coup memo, right? And then he gets caught on tape.
We're huge Trump supporters, and we were actually at January 6th.
Oh, yeah.
We saw your speech.
Did I incite you to go down to the Capitol and riot?
You actually incited us to become supporters of Claremont.
Oh, good. Very good.
Because, the work that you're doing is just so critical to saving our democracy.
Thank you.
We couldn't not support your work after that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
So thank you. You're really doing the Lord's work.
Well, and that's my old, you heard me say it. My old professor said, if you're not catching incoming flak, you're not over the target. And my God, I must be directly over it.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've learned from Trump. All you have to do is flatter these people and say, I'm on your side. And then you get the truth that he would double down and do it again.
Yep.
This coup memo, right?
Right. Well, and the thing is that you're getting such wishy-washy responses to all of this. I was just saying a second ago, I really wish these guys would just own what they did.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we've got the perpetrators, the hundreds of insurrectionists who invaded the Capitol, occupied the Capitol for a period of time. People died, people were injured, DC police and so on. I wish they would just go, hey, look, we did this. We wanted to do it, and so we did it. Instead, it's like, but I didn't do it. I didn't, it's like you're dealing with a bunch of kids who you say, oh, did you just break that bowl in the kitchen? I didn't do it. I don't know.
Not me.
Yeah.
Not
it's
me.
Billy
Exactly.
from Family Circus.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God. The references we can pull from Parade magazine.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of doing it again, and this Trump's latest grift, his Truth Media. You just said, as I predicted last week, investors are shorting Trump's SPAC, indicating that his newly announced media company will crash and burn. Womp womp. I mean, right? Investors are already like, wait, I invested in what? Holy, I want my money back. Like they didn't know Trump was involved, right?
I mean, any endeavor by Donald Trump, any new business endeavor is bound to fail. How do we know this? Because every single one of his business endeavors has failed. Even the Trump Organization, his main business, is now under serious threat of being dissolved by Letitia James or someone else, Cy Vance in Manhattan. So everything he touches ends up dying at some point, the Rick Wilson adage. But in terms of this particular thing, I love the fact that right out of the gate, investors are already seeing the fact that this is the guy responsible for Trump steaks and Trump vodka, Trump University, and all the rest of it. And so they know that it's going to fail. And so therefore, some of these investment firms are recommending short selling Donald Trump's stock. It's such great comeuppance, too, because I'm sure that's how Donald Trump has been dealing in the stock market for many, many years, not only manipulating the stock market, but dooming many stocks to a premature death by short selling them or whatever. I mean, we documented many occasions during his presidency. Where just before, he would announce something about the trade war with China, and then suddenly something would happen with the stock market, and it got to the point where we were wondering, is he deliberately doing this to manipulate the stock market? So the idea of investors legitimately shorting his stock is such a great, I love that story. And by the way, if you want me to explain short selling, I tried it on my podcast yesterday. And then I think on Thursday I'll try string theory.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Go for
you know
it,
what?
Bob.
I'll just wait and listen to the podcast.
Schrodinger's cat. Do Schrodinger's cat.
Ow.